What's up, YouTube? New Mike here, coming at you with another modern video. As always, before we continue, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this type of content. Doing a lot of Modern Horizons 2 stuff, so I hope you guys are enjoying the modern content as much as I am, because this set has proven to be quite the powerhouse for Modern. It's actually, I feel like this is the set that's probably changed Modern the most, almost more than any set in a long time, at least that I can remember, going back a couple of years. Um, Maybe I'll train with Oko and Once Upon a Time, Modern Horizons 1 with Hogak, Ren and 6, all that stuff. But yeah, the set's got a lot of good cards, and there's a lot of room for exploration. So I've been doing, as you may know, I've been doing a lot with the food slash cookbook, like basically the Asmo cookbook shells. Some of them have Vengevine, some of them don't. Some of them have Troll King, some of them don't. But one thing I realized with the when I was playing with specifically the second version, the black green food deck, I realized the true power level of Urza Saga and how completely ridiculous that card is. So I found this deck list from Twitter. It was I think it was Sodek, who said that he went 4-1-4-1 with, I just copied his 75 for now. I just wanted to try what he posted before I made any changes. There's a couple cards that I potentially think could be good, namely Esper Sentinel and Nettlecyst from the new set. But I wanted to try his list first to see kind of how everything plays out. But as you can see here, we have a resurrected old friend in Affinity. So to kind of take you back a couple of years, with the banning of Mox Opal, when that happened, everybody assumed that Affinity was going to be dead, and those assumptions have kind of sort of been true for the past couple of years, ever since it was banned. But we sort of I don't know if resurrected is the right word, but we sort of injected some new life into the potential of having an Affinity archetype in the new set with the aforementioned Urza Saga as well as Thought Monitor. So Affinity, again, a deck that's been around in Modern since the inception, 2011, 2012. It was played at the first Modern Pro Tour, and again, it kind of was good all the way up until Opal got banned. Now we're here with the new set. So the new cards that we're talking about here are the aforementioned Urza Saga. If you don't know what it does, you should get familiarized with it, because you're going to see a lot of it if you're playing Modern right now. This card, I think, might be the best card in the set. I think might be it probably is just the best card in the set. So it's a land. It's enchantment land. Notably, enchantment land means you can disenchant it. Things like Nature's Claim, disenchant. You can just cast your destroy target enchantment on the land, which is, a downside. But so first chapter, taps for a colorless mana. Okay, it's a land, taps for mana. Second chapter, Urza Saga gains 2 tap, create a 0/0 colorless construct creature artifact token with so a construct. It gives a plus, basically its power toughness equal to the number of artifacts you control. And the sick thing about this is you play it on turn 2. You don't want to play it on turn 1, because if you play it on turn 1, you likely won't be able to activate it. This deck in particular can actually activate it on turn 1. Or if you play it on turn 1, you can activate it on turn 2, because if you go, let's say, turn 1 Urza Saga and Springleaf Drum plus a 0-mana creature, then turn 2, you get the second chapter, make the ability to make a construct. You play your second land, you tap the Saga, the land, and the Parrot, and the Springleaf Drum, and the creature, and you can make a construct. So you can make a construct on turn 2 and turn 3. But going back to specifically this card, the reason it's so good is you can play it on your, assuming you don't have a mana acceleration with Springleaf Drum. You play it on the second turn of the game, and you get the ability, right? Or you play it on the second turn, you get the first ability. Second chapter goes on your third turn of the game, you get the second ability. You play your third land, you activate the Urza Saga Mega Construct. You then untap, draw. Now remember, the way that sagas work is they trigger in your main phase, right? So the third chapter goes in the stack. You can respond to the third ability and make another construct. So if you play this on turn 2, you make a construct on turn 3, then you make a construct on turn 4, and you get something out of it. So just by playing your land drop, you don't actually, it literally only costs you your land drop. You get 2 constructs, and you get to tutor for a card from your deck. And I can't even begin to tell you how absurd that is, just in a single card, and it only requires you to make your land drop. You don't even have to play a spell. It doesn't even take up a spell slot in your deck. It takes up a land spot. So the card is pretty ridiculous. Again, I don't like talking about bannings, and we're only a couple days into the set, but the more I play with Urza Saga, the more I kind of feel like there could potentially be a chance that Saga does get banned down the road. I don't know when. I don't know how long it's going to take. But just playing with the card and getting a feel for it makes me kind of believe. I'm not quite sure how much they tested it. Yeah, I don't know. But the card's been really good and definitely a reason, something that I think could make a deck like this particularly good. Just because obviously the constructs, your deck is basically all artifacts with the exception of 4 Metallic Rebukes and some additional lands. But yeah, you just get to make 2 huge things. Go tutor for, either a Welding Jar or a Signal Pest, which is not bad because it pumps your team when it attacks. Card draw with Mishra's Bauble. Yeah, but most likely, I guess you're probably going to get Welding Jar to protect something. And then the rest of the deck is a lot of what you've seen without Affinity, Citadel, Glimmer Void, Spire of Industry to facilitate our colored cards, Inkmoth Nexus, which is really good in combination with Perennial Plating. And then we have... So, the previous versions of Affinity didn't quite max out on the Memnites and Ornithopters because they had access to Mox Opal as another 0. Without Mox Opal, we need to max out on Memnite and Ornithopter because we're more reliant on Springleaf Drum. Now, obviously, Springleaf Drum is no Mox Opal. It's not even, it's leagues below Mox Opal. However, it is mana acceleration, and if you play it on turn 1 in combination with a 0-mana creature, you have 3 mana on turn 2. That is pretty good. So Springleaf Drum, I would say, is one of the more important cards in the deck for that reason, because it gives you that acceleration that you miss from Mox Opal. And to that extent, we also have Paradise Mantle, which is essentially just a strictly worse copy of Springleaf Drum because you have to equip it to the creature, and you have to pay the mana up front. So it's definitely worse than Drum, but it's just like, it's close enough that we just want more acceleration. And then Signal Pest, previous Affinity versions that we've seen in the past have had 4 copies. We're choosing to go with 3 because we have Saga to find it, and we're not going as wide, right? We're more about, like, getting a plating on a thing or, playing a thought. I guess we are going a little bit wide, but because we have Urza Saga to find Signal Pest, I don't think we need the full 4 copies. 4 plating, 4 Overseer, again, just Affinity staples. I haven't seen a ton of Is It Prowess over the past couple of days, but one thing I would consider is if there's a lot of prowess in your area or your metagame, if you're bringing this to your local tournament, you'll notice the absence of Arcbound Ravager, which might seem a little odd, and when I glanced at the deck list, I kind of said the same thing at first. But the more I thought about it, I think it makes a lot of sense because we're playing the way that this deck is constructed. It's more about putting a bunch of stuff onto the battlefield, like triggering or not triggering, but getting to Affinity to cast the Frogmites and your Thought Monitors. You want a critical mass of artifacts in place so you can make Thought Monitor really good because 1 mana 2/2 flyer draw 2 is pretty busted. If this thing always costs 1 mana, it would be insane. So that's kind of the principle, and that's kind of why we're building our deck the way we are. And Arcbound Ravager can put you in some awkward spots where you have to kind of like sack the shove to go all in, and then your Thought Monitors in your hand might be dead. So we're choosing to go without Arcbound Ravager. So we'll go ahead and see how that plays out. But again, I think if there's a lot of prowess and an abundance of Lava Darts in your metagame, you could consider playing Arcbound Ravager over Steel Overseer. And then we have the other new card from the set, Thought Monitor. So as we sort of went over it already, 7 mana for a 2/2 flyer. Not the best rate, but it has affinity for artifacts. So if you can get a bunch of cheap artifacts into play and play this for 1 mana, again, a 1 mana 2/2 flyer that draws 2 cards, pretty busted. If this thing always costs 1 mana, it would just be a 4 of in almost every deck that played blue mana. So yeah, we're trying to take full advantage of that. And then the last cards in the deck, we have a couple Frogmites to sort of go with, just it's good with generally putting a bunch of artifacts into play. It's not the most high impact card, but again, just like, it's good with Overseer to go a little bit wider. And then 1 copy of Master of Ethereum. I kind of think that this should probably just be Nettlecyst, because, I guess the difference between this and Nettlecyst is Nettlecyst doesn't pump the rest of your team. So if we're going, with all the full complement of 0 mana cards, it's probably better to play Master because we have more pieces of cardboard in play that may or may not be relevant. So it kind of makes those a little bit better. Same with, the reason we're playing Overseer. And then 4 Metallic Rebukes. This is kind of our, Affinity decks in the past have chosen to play one colored spell. Usually, sometimes it was Thoughtcast, sometimes it was Galvanic Blast, sometimes it was Main Deck Dispatch. You know, basically their interactive spell of choice, right? And we're choosing to go with Metallic Rebuke just because it covers the widest range of things, and with our full complement of zeros, I think it gets a lot better because we're frequently able to cast it for 1 mana very early. So you can go, you know, turn 1 a 0 and a drum, turn 2 Overseer protected with Rebuke. That's pretty good. That's a good start, you know. So that is the main deck, and then as far as the sideboard is concerned, it's a pretty clean sideboard. 4 Etch Champion for our grindy matchups, 3 Disenchants for, I guess 3 Disenchants, 3 Pithing Needles for the food deck. I guess I'd probably bring in Dispatch against the food deck. We have a lot of sideboard for that matchup. And then we have a couple of bullets. Well, I guess we have 3 Needles, a Cage, and a Crypt, which are all cards you can get with Saga. I think this deck prioritizes Needle more. The reason it's playing like 3 copies as opposed to just 1 to search for with Saga is because the Heliod matchup is pretty bad, and Needle's actually another card you can bring in against the food deck. So there's a lot of that going on. So I think we have a pretty wide array of options to bring in against the food deck. I'm not even sure how I would want to sideboard in that matchup. I should probably think about that. But we have a lot of tools at our disposal. But yeah, Needle's very good against Heliod. Even multiples, you can name Heliod and Spike Feeder and Ballista. They have a lot of stuff you can name. And then we have a Cage and a Crypt to go get with Saga for the graveyard decks. So that is the deck list. I hope you enjoyed that little overview. Again, remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you back in just a little bit for round number 1. Alrighty, YouTube, back here for round number 1. We are on the play, which is good. Okay, so this hand has some stuff. So we got turn 1 Memnite Ornithopter land, turn 2 Overseer, then we can turn 3 a Thought Monitor. Ah, man, if one of these lands was a Springleaf Drum, I would like this hand a lot more. I'm still going to keep it. I mean, we're on the play. I think maybe on the draw I would consider mulliganing this hand, just because it's a little slow. I guess there's really no reason to play the Ornithopter on turn 1, because I'm not attacking with it. Because I can't activate... Oh, is this a mirror match? No way. Oh my goodness. I did not expect to play a mirror match round 1. This is awesome. This is actually awesome. They probably copied pasted the same deck list that I have. Okay. What is their payoff? Do they have a payoff? Oh my goodness. Okay, well their draw was a lot better than mine. Although, again, they don't have a payoff and we do. Like we also have a Thought Monitor, but we're gonna have an active Overseer. And if they're playing Sodex version, they don't have any removal spells main deck. I'll play this. Man, I'm so excited we get to play a mirror match round 1. That is awesome. Did not expect that. Oh, okay. Well, we're dead. Ooh, they're playing this one. So deck did not have this card. I think he said he tried it, but he didn't like it. Do we have any outs? No. Okay. Definitely not. Well, that was fast. Alright, Dispatch, Disenchant, good cards. Etch Champion, not a good card. I think the counter spells are like... I don't think I can afford to be that reactive in this matchup, plus I have just a ton of proactive answers. And... what's the last cut? Frogmite's pretty low impact. Yeah, I'll just cut Frogmite. I think that's fine. Excuse me. I still can't believe we're playing the mirror match round 1. That is hilarious. Because before Sodek posted the deck list on Twitter, I've not run into this deck at all over the past couple of days. And I mean, this is my first match. This is my first match of today, so playing the mirror. But again, they have the 4/4, so it's not quite the same list. All right, what does this hand do? This hand has Bauble, Mantle, Spire, Go, Hmm. This hand is if so. I think if one of these two cards was a Memnite or an Ornithopter, and I could go Bauble, Mantle, Ornithopter, Equip, and then I could. I guess I still wouldn't have turn 2 Thought Monitor, but I feel like this hand's just too slow. Like I get we have Dispatch, but yeah, I think this hand's just too slow. Ugh. Well, I mean, this hand has upside, but we don't have any colored mana. I think I'm going to keep this and just put back the second monitor and hope to rip a colored source. I don't really want to go to 5. I guess there's also an argument for putting back a Nexus, because this hand kind of has to draw a mana source anyways. But, I don't know, like, both the double Nexus with the Pest is not bad. So there is definitely some argument for keeping the Nexus as well, because it's not the worst. But, I'm not sure. Oh, I don't know about those. I don't think I would choose to put tap lands in my deck. Like, I get the idea, but don't think that's where I would want to be. Can't imagine tap lands being good. Like, I get it, but there's still lands that come into play tapped, you know. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, their version is a lot different, because they have Thoughtcast as well. Alright. Actually, they went to play a card, but... Well, there's no point in attacking with Ornithopters, because they can just block with these two. So I guess I'll get in for 2 poison. Not looking great. Not looking great. You mulligan, you know, kept a speculative hand that I don't think I'm supposed to mulligan the hand that we kept, because we're already on 6, but... Alright, there's colored mana. That helps. So I think I probably... 2, 3, 4. I can't play Monitor anyways. So let's equip an Ornithopter. And then... just pass? If I pass, they could have Rebuke if I go to kill this. Honestly, if they rebuke the Dispatch, I think I'm happier with that, because then I get to resolve Thought Monitor, and I think I'm more likely to win this game if I play Thought Monitor. Like, if I play Dispatch now, they just dispute this. But I guess then we have a second monitor. I'm just gonna pass. Passing is also better. I guess they can't plating equip anyways, right? I'm really not sure. Okay, I changed my mind. Because we have 2 monitors, I think I'm just gonna dispatch this now. And we can also bluff a second dispute, or bluff a second dispatch, excuse me. We can also bluff dispute. I don't know if they're going to play around it, but... Also, doing it main phase... Well, doing it main phase versus another 4/4 doesn't matter, because they can just play it anyways. They already have 6 artifacts. But there is something to be said about killing an artifact main phase versus affinity cards. Okay. Alright, they don't have another 4/4, but they do have blue mana, so they definitely could have a dispute here. Or, I keep calling it dispute. Rebuke. 3, 4... Is there any reason to activate Nexus first? No. Actually... I think there is, right? Because I have to tap the Nexus anyways. So it gives me extra artifacts. So that way if I draw, like, exactly land plus drum, I can then cast it. Because I have to tap all my mana to cast the monitor anyways, right? 1, 2, 3, 4... Yeah, so it doesn't matter. I mean, I guess there's some argument about exposing the Nexus to removal spells, but this is just much higher upside if... I have to draw exactly land plus drum, I guess, but... Ooh, Saga's a pretty good one. So let's play that. And pass. Yep. Well, we might be able to take over this game with Saga. Maybe. Okay, doesn't do much. They have a 2-mana card. Overseer? Plating. Okay. Plating is going to be tough to beat, for sure. I think I have to take this because I need to save the monitor to start trading with Ornithopters. Because I have only a limited amount of... Like, I have less flyers than they do. Well, I guess we have the same, but I don't have a plating. You know what I mean? Like, now this turn I can go monitor... Ooh. Alrighty then. I can't... Well, I guess I could. 1, 2... Or I could just disenchant and make a Saga. I think disenchant, make a Saga or construct is better than playing monitor this turn. And I'm gonna disenchant main phase to play her on counter magic, I think. I think that's more important. Like, I get that I could burn a mana from them by letting them equip on their turn, but I just can't let this get countered. Can I start attacking? I don't think the 2 damage is worth it, and if they have plating equip on a flyer, I'm just gonna get, like, utterly destroyed if I send with these two. I guess I could chump block, but I don't really want to chump block. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna call. They probably have, like, a disenchant or something, but... Like, that's fine. I'm just gonna get more tokens anyways. That's just the trade that's gonna happen. I'm also, like, much happier that they disenchant that than my plating. Because the plating is a much better card. So make a thing with the trigger on the stack. I think I'm gonna get Welding Jar to play her on a second disenchant. Yeah. That makes more sense. Then we'll go... Oh, I guess I could have got a mana artifact. I don't know if that's better. Play monitor. This game feels pretty over now. Now we're super far ahead. But they're just like an Urza Saga away from getting back in the game, I think. So now I think we can afford to attack because we have a second monitor. Is it worth the extra point of damage? Yeah, I guess it probably is. Okay. Go. Guess I shouldn't have 6 with the Welding Jar in play. They drew a monitor. It's a good start for them. I wonder if for the mirror we should play a way that we can... So people have been suggesting in my Urza Saga decks over the past couple of days in my Twitch stream to play 1 copy of Manifold Key to make constructs unblockable. And honestly, if there's going to be a bunch of Urza Saga mirrors, I kind of don't hate that. The prospect of playing one of those. They're at 15. They have a lot of flying blockers, which makes this a little tricky. Because I can attack with 2 monitors. And they're just going to double trade. I do have double black to move the plating. So, what's the best way to go about doing this? It's a tough spot. So I think I can play Glimmer Void. If I fire up a Nexus too. So the issue with firing up Nexus and sending... So let's say hypothetically, right? I fire up Nexus and I send this Thopter, Nexus, 2 monitors. Right? What they do is they probably just chump block the 2 monitors, and then they put these 2 monitors on the Thopter and the Nexus, and I can only move the plating to one of these 2, so they get to eat the other one, but then that means I'm trading likely... I guess they just eat this, and then that means I'm trading Ornithopter Nexus for Ornithopter Thought Monitor, and I'm keeping a Thought Monitor around. Actually, I'm keeping both. I think that's actually a good trade for me. I think. Leaves me a little bit vulnerable to cranial plating. Because they would be able to keep... Yeah, they would keep They would keep 2 flyers, right? Yeah, they would keep 2 flyers. And I would only have... I actually have none back to block. Oh, but I guess the Signal Pest can attack instead of the Ornithopter. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, so let's go Glimmer Void, so I can have second black. Oh, no, that was dumb. I have a black here. Yeah, so I should have played Citadel that turn. It's fine. I think it's okay. I could also Welding Jar, but I kind of wanted to save the Welding Jar in case they had Disenchant. So attack with these 3. Actually, what if I just did this? What if I just did this? No, this needs to stay back, I think. I do want to leave 1 flyer back to make sure I don't die to cranial plating. So I think all these attacks make sense. It's just trying to figure out... Actually, the 3rd flyer doesn't make sense, right? The 3rd flyer attack, because then they just go Monitor, Monitor, Thopter. Yeah, the 3rd flyer attack I don't think makes sense. So let's do this. Because the Nexus is lethal by itself, so that's a forced block. Got him, by the way, in case you were wondering. Alright, so that's already a chump block. That's a trade, so I can just eat this. I'm going to take a point and leave back the other flyer. Okay. I'm not going to use the jar. That was a good trade for me. I don't know if those were their best blocks, but... These Affinity Mirrors have always been super interesting. Trying to be a little more cognizant of the noises that are on the microphone. Okay. So... Do I change anything? No, I don't think so. Okay. So this hand has turn 1, Drum Mantle, turn 2, Pest, Saga. Okay. Hand's got a lot of stuff. We have 2 of the best cards in the mirror, too, which is Saga and Monitor. The question is, do I play Saga on 1? No, because I can't activate it on 2, right? If I go Saga... Yeah, okay. No, that makes no sense. Let's play Drum first in case they have, like, I don't know, Galvanic Blast or something. In general, with Springleaf Drum, you want to play the drum before the creature, because you get the mana back the turn after you play the creature. Like, next turn, I'm just going to get the mana back after I play the Pest. Because I get mana off the drum, that is. Okay. Yep. Wonder if they're playing the full 4 copies of Thoughtcast and Monitor. Like, you certainly wouldn't play any copies of Thoughtcast before your 4th Monitor, but I wonder if they're playing 4 of each. They might be. Might be a good way to approach it. I still don't like the artifact lands, but I don't hate the Thoughtcasts. Okay, that's actually a really good draw. Just makes a lot more mana. Oh, actually, because I had the Mantle, I wonder if I was supposed to play the Pest first. If I played Pest first, then I can go Drum, tap Drum, equip. Yeah, I think I did. I think I screwed that up as much as I said. All the things I said before. I think I messed that up. I don't know that I would have been able to play Monitor this turn. No, I think I would have, right? Play this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap this. Equip this. So if I had played Signal Pest first, right? So I go turn 1, land, Pest, Mantle. Turn 2, second land. tap land, equip Signal Pest. I have untapped land, Signal Pest, Drum, right? Or no, because I would have had the Drum in play. Right, I'm just trying to think of this through my head. So turn 1, land, Pest, Mantle, go. Turn 2, second land, tap land, equip Pest. I have Pest land untapped. Play Ornithopter. Right. Tap land, play Drum. Then I have Drum plus Ornithopter and Pest for 2 mana. So I would have had 2 mana with 4 artifacts. No, I still would have been short, right? Yeah, okay. Alright, so cast Drum. Oh, I have to make the Saga first, right? So 1, 2, make a thing, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 artifacts. Yeah, okay. So this, make a thing, and then I have 6 artifacts from the monitor. Yep, that's how you do it. Okay. I wonder if they have a counter spell. The nice thing about them countering this is, yeah, because then they wouldn't be able to make a construct, so I'm not even sure they could afford to do that. Second monitor would be dope here. Alright, a bunch of lands, not the best. I'll just pass. So I imagine they're probably going to get Welding Jar. Welding Jar would make the most sense. I get a second construct and Welding Jar. Which is pretty good for them. Not bad. I get another Drum. Maybe they want... I guess they want more mana. I don't know. What do they want a third mana for? Because they knew they were hitting their land drop. Maybe they don't have Jar? I can't remember if they showed us a Jar game 1. Okay. That was kind of expected. But it shouldn't matter because we just have Mono Sagas. Okay. Okay, maybe it does matter. Alright, take 10. Not gonna chump block. Yeah, now we're probably in bad shape. Okay, that helps. It's definitely a card that helps. So now I think I'm getting a Jar. I definitely don't need more mana. So I don't need Drum. I can get a chump blocker. Is a chump blocker better than a Jar? So this will be my 8th artifact. This will be my 9th. But no, I can't because I have to play Saga this turn. I can't play Citadel. So maybe in that case I want a chump blocker. It's so much worse if they have Disenchant though, because then they just kill this. Then I'm just so far behind in the construct race. I can also just chump block with Signal Pest. So I'm just gonna do this. Go. So they have 10/10s. So I have to at least chump block. Chump block dispatch, take 4. If they attack with monitor, I'll just trade. Very, very tenuous position. And I kind of have to disenchant before blocks. Because, or dispatch before blocks, because if they counter the dispatch, then I just lose. Like, imagine if I just block and then dispatch, they counter it, then I lose. So I need to cast this first to see if they have counter magic. I shouldn't have 6, but alright, trade, chump. Yeah. Okay, they don't have anything. So a Saga goes online. So we play Citadel. I probably should have played Overseer. Or, excuse me, I probably should have played Ink Boss so I can trade. Would I have had enough mana to activate Nexus and Saga? So if I play Nexus, I have Saga Nexus untapped. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana plus the Saga. I guess I would have had enough mana, yeah. So I should have played Nexus, right? Okay. Plating is scary. Oh, they just had me dead. If they see it. Attack with both Nexus, or attack with both Thopters, unblocked when they just attach the plating instant speed. I guess that also works, right? They could have also just animated both Nexuses. I mean, they had me dead a million different ways. But I'll make them do it out. They may or may not see it. Okay. If they attack with Inkmoth plus 2 Thopters, they still have me dead. I guess this also has me dead. I will make them do it. Show me that you know what your cards do. I guess they could also be playing around a dispatch, but they're not. Alright, we're dead. Yeah, that was weird. I didn't expect to play the Mirror Run one, and it seems like their deck... Well, I think that these tap lands are really bad. I like the rest of the way their deck is set up. I like that they have more draw spells, and I think this card is good. I mean, I guess if you're choosing to play this, you probably have to play the artifact lands, even if they're so bad. But yeah, cool mirror match. That was interesting. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 2. Alright, YouTube, back here for round number 2 after losing the pseudo mirror match round number 1 with Affinity. We have a hand that has a bunch of mana, a cantrip, and no payoff. I think I'm gonna ship this. It kind of feels like old Affinity where you have enough payoffs. Like, yeah, this is just a payoff by itself. So it's definitely a keep. I'm gonna be putting back. Probably the second 0 mana card, right? And then we just go... This is actually a turn 1 Saga hand, right? Yeah, this is a turn 1 Saga hand. So I put back this. I go Saga. Yeah, okay. Put back... if I draw plating, keeping the Ornithopter is better, but I have the Nexus anyways. Let's put back the Thopter. I guess if they have like Lava Dart, maybe keeping Thopter is better. It's pretty marginal. I'll just do this. Do it this way. Alright, so... Saga. Bauble. Springleaf Drone. Ornithopter. Frogmite. Yes. Do you want to sack the Bauble? Yeah, why not? Watcher for tomorrow. Alright, alright, alright. Draw a card off Bauble. Ooh. Don't mind if I do. Play this. Attack for 2. Make a Saga token. Yeah, see, okay. This is the draw where Urza Saga is just completely obscene. We just get to turn 2 make a construct, turn 3 make a construct. Like, what is this? How does our opponent ever win? And we have a plating too? Jesus. Yeah, this draw is obscene. They're going to play a Watcher for tomorrow. Wall of Moments. Okay. Resolves. Yeah, this is disgusting. Are they dead to... No, they're not dead to plating. I think I'd rather just make another construct like I'm plating next turn. What are we getting? Welding Jar is not the best against white-blue because they could have Teferi or Solitude or Path to Exile. So, in that case, I honestly might just want to cycle it. I have plenty of Ornithopters. Memnite doesn't do anything. I have enough mana. I get a Pest, actually, so it's Pest or Cycle. Pest is probably better than Cycling. I'm going to attack with both of these in case they decide that they don't want to chump block this turn. Like, if I just attack with this, they might just chump block. You know, if they're, like, locked into chump blocking anyways. Pretty sure they have to chump block anyways. I don't think they can take 8 here, given our board state. I guess the only way out for them would be, like, Solitude plus Ephemerate to kill the constructs. And even at that point, we still plating, so... Alright, so... Jeskai, probably Ephemerate stuff. Its champion could be good, because they probably have a lot of removal. Like I said, Solitude, Path to Exile, Teferi, those kinds of things. And they probably don't have many sweepers, because they're playing a lot of creatures themselves, so they really can't afford to play sweepers. The question is, do we want champion over Rebuke? Rebuke is kind of awkward against Teferi, too. Yeah, I think I'm going to play champion over Rebuke. I think Rebuke is just, like, the card that's going to come out first in most matchups, because it's, like, it's a fine main deck card, because it covers a lot of things, but when you're sideboarding, you want to keep the engine of your deck mostly intact. And the question is, do I want to do anything else? Disenchant could be... I could have Stony Silence. Do I want to preemptively board in Disenchant for Stony Silence? It's not the worst, because my deck really can't beat Stony Silence. It's like a hedge. Maybe just cut 2 Frogmites. They have Wall of Omens anyways. Frogmite's kind of meh. I'll just hedge a little bit with Disenchant. I don't know if it's going to be good, and I don't know if they have targets, but they're a white deck. They could play Stony Silence. We can't beat Stony Silence, so I'll bring it in. Okay. This hand is so close. Replace the champion with a 0 or a land, and this hand's great. As is, we go turn 1 Drum, turn 2 Pest. If we brick on land, we just can't even play a card. This hand's got a lot of upside, though. We have a lot of good redraws. Any 0 is fine because we have Drum. Any land is good. Yeah, alright, I'm going to keep it. Obviously, it's risky, but we're on the draw and it's really high upside. So, I tend to keep hands like this. Obviously, I think I'd snap ball on the play, but I think being on the draw, I can afford to keep a hand like this. I'm going to instantly concede if they play Stony Silence. I'm ready for it. Stony Silence would be, not be very good. Well, for us. Good for them, but... Tapping mana pretty quickly. Watcher for tomorrow. That is the opposite of a Stony Silence. Okay. What do we got? Land, please? We did draw the land. So now I just go past Overseer. Okay. It's not bad. I'll take that. Sinuses have been kind of clogged the past couple of days. Should probably take some cold medicine. I'm assuming this is getting helixed or something. Oh, it's not dying. That's good for me. They have Mystic Gate untapped, which means they cannot cast Ephemerate or Path to Exile or anything of that nature. So, we're chilling. And now I think we just slam Champion. Yeah, I'm just going to start playing champions. Especially because I get to pump the champion this turn. I think it's better than playing plating. I'm just going to activate this now in case they have, like, I don't know. There's no way they have Lava Dart in their deck, but like Electrolyze they could have. Fire Ice. Pass. I'll sack the Bauble. There's, like, not a ton of reason to keep it in play. Because we have Drum, Citadel to protect our champion. So as long as we have these two and play, the champion's going to have protection always, and they're not going to kill this stuff. Like, we have enough... Basically what I'm saying is we have enough protection for the champion. feel like if they don't play removal spell this turn, okay, they are. I was gonna say, I think if they're not playing a removal spell this turn, it's gonna be really hard for them to beat two champions that are a 4/4 and a 3/3. A 3/3 and a 2/2 is good, but it's more beatable for them. Really, that is an interesting card to bring in. I'm not sure I agree with it. I could see like spots where it's good, but I guess here it means I can't play champion plus pest, but that's fine. I'll just play another champion. Actually, I'm just plating here, right? Yeah, I'm just plating. No reason to play pest. Just plating and slam. What am I doing? Alright. 11, yeah. Now we have lethal next turn with the champion, which they can't block. So I don't know what they could have. They'd have to have a sweeper. Or they can kill the plating, I guess, but even if they kill the plating, it's not that bad because we got a big hit in. And this is the spot where Etch Champion is just completely absurd. Against these, like, fair creature matchups. It's just so hard for their deck to interact with. And once you put a plating on it, it's just like, as you can see. That was the fair deck killer when Affinity was in its heyday. Everybody just played a bunch of Etch Champions. Like, Jun could never beat it. Most control decks. I mean, I guess, like, hardcore control decks have sweepers, but, like, their deck is, like, slow value creature based, though, so they can't really play sweepers, you know what I mean? So yeah, nice little easy dub with Etch Champion. That was a sweet game. Hope you enjoyed. Deck's doing pretty well so far, and we we lost to a mirror match. So if you combine our opponent's win and our win, Affinity is technically 2-0. So yeah, let's see if we can keep it going. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 3. Alrighty, guys, back here for round number 3. Affinity time. Let's go. Opponent's 80 cards. That means Yorion. It's time for the big bird. Wonder what flavor of Yorion deck. The most common Yorion deck that I've seen is Niv, but let's see what we got. So we have a turn 2 Master of Ethereum. Alright, bet. I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm good with a turn 2 Master. I think I should play Citadel first in case I draw a second Citadel. Right? 1, 2, 3. This Master, that's 4 artifacts. We can still turn 3 Monitor either way. I guess it doesn't change anything with turn 3 Monitor, but it's not like I'm attacking with this on turn 2. So like I can at least play it on turn 2 regardless. And I actually think, in case they have Lightning Bolt, I think it's actually beneficial for me not to play the Mem Knight because I'm not going to be attacking with it next turn anyways. So I think it actually makes sense to not play Mem Knight, because if I play Mem Knight and they have land Lightning Bolt or Fatal Push, excuse me, then I won't be able to play a turn 2 Master. And again, I'm not attacking with it on turn 2, so let's play Mem Knight. No, I think I'll play the Nexus. I'll play a 4/4. Alright, so they're doing some Goose Bauble stuff, so probably not Niv. Not sure what's going on then. We'll have to wait and see. Gingerbread Cabin. Okay. Galvanic Blast. That is fine. So 3 artifacts. So we can't quite play the Monitor. We can go Plating Overseer, right? I mean, I guess I could play the Monitor if I tap the Master, but I don't want to do that. If I tap the Citadel Animate Nexus, I have 4 artifacts. Yeah, I'm still 1 short, right? So I'm just going to play Overseer, then Plating, and then Slam for 5. We can Monitor next turn. More cabins. More cabins. They have 2 cards left. I would definitely say our spot is favored. So I can go plating into monitor and still equip. And play Saga. So I think what I want to do is just equip plating here and shove with both to force a chump block. I think that's better than activating Overseer this turn. I mean, I guess I could just I could have double equipped the Master and forced the chump block, but isn't it just the same thing? And this at least gets through 7 damage. Actually, 8 damage, because I can animate the Nexus before damage. Oh, they just chose not to block? Whoops. Okay. I don't know if they had any outs, but... Alright, so we saw some Geese and a Yorion. If they're playing Goose, there's a good chance they have Urza, which Urza makes Etch Champion looks real bad, right? Because they just get a construct to block the Etch Champion. Could bring in Disenchant, because there's a good chance they're an Urza Saga deck, and Disenchant is very good against Saga. Although, this might be a Rebuke matchup. I think this is going to be the one matchup where I actually want to keep in Rebuke. I think. Maybe I just shave a Rebuke, bring in 3 Disenchants. Frogmite's still pretty low impact. Let's try this. I think I'm down with this. Alright, what do we got? Man, just like, imagine every hand, how much better every hand would look with a Springleaf Drum. I think I'm still keeping this though, because we get a redraw and we just get to put a bunch of stuff into play. Like we already can go turn 1 this cycle, and if we hit a land, we then go turn 2 Overseer, and we have a ton of stuff. We just go wide, right? This hand just goes wide. We find a land. They did show us red mana, so they could have Grudge. Grudge would kind of suck, but it's not like we can mulligan to a hand that's good against Grudge. Our whole deck is bad against Grudge. Alright, Wobble. M-Knight. Ornithopter. Pest. I'm just going to cycle the Bobble after they fetch on their upkeep. They're probably going to Bobble themselves end step. Oh, they have Emery. I was like, why wouldn't they cycle the Bobble first? But they have Emery. That makes sense. That's why. I was going to say, because they would have just Bobbled themselves to see if they wanted to keep the card. But if they're playing Emery, then that makes a lot of sense. Yep. Okay. They Bobbled me. Let's hope it was a land. It was. The best land, even. Yeah, Overseer, attack. Could have attacked first, but I will happily take this trade. I can't imagine they're taking that trade. I think if I don't draw colored mana, I'm just going to make a Saga token. If I draw colored mana, I think it's probably better to play Master. Brainstone. Okay. They Bobbled me again. Galvanic Blast, probably. Yeah. And they have 1 card left. I mean, we got some decent pressure going. If we find a colored mana, then alright. Yeah, so we can Nexus, make a Saga, shove. Next turn, get colored mana, make another Saga. Or just play Master. I'm just trying to think if there's any reason to play Pest this turn. So I attack here. They take 3, they go to 10. If I play Pest, right? Playing Pest is just such a bad use of my mana. Because it's not lethal next turn, right? It would only be 4 damage because they get to block the Mem Knight. I guess maybe it forces a trade of Saga for Mem Knight, which isn't bad. 1, because they get an artifact here, that'd be 2, 3. If they have an artifact, it's a 4/4. If they have any artifact in their hand, they can make a 4/4 construct, which means my Mem Knight would only be a 3/1. So yeah, it's just better to make a construct here, 100%. Because if they have any artifact, it's not even a trade. So we'll just take our 3, make a thing. Let's see what they're up to. Alright, what do we got? And they're likely just going to make a Saga. I keep saying make a Saga, make a construct. You know what I mean. Yep. Alrighty. Oh wow, they're not making a construct. They bobbled themselves first, right? Yeah. No, they targeted me. I was gonna say, if they bobbled themselves and saw a really good card, that would make sense, but man, not making a construct here seems so weird. I wonder what they're looking for. I don't know. They haven't missed a land drop yet. Okay. Yeah. Very, very strange. I mean, they may have Galvanic Blast here. They can't cast Galvanic Blast. I don't know. I wonder why they didn't make a construct there. Alright, so is it better to make a construct or just play Master? I think it's better to actually just play Master this turn. So I'm just going to float a colorless because I have 2 more constructs here. And definitely getting Jar. 100%. Oh, I guess if I needed the blue mana. Okay, maybe that was bad. I thought that I was going to be able to play Saga and Master, but I couldn't do that if I wanted to get Jar. So maybe that was worse. They gave us the GGs. Alright, cool. So yeah, maybe on that last turn, if I'm getting Jar, maybe it's worth it to not play the Master that turn, because I really want to get the second Saga into play. So maybe what I'm supposed to do is get Jar, make a construct, play Saga, next turn play the Master. I'm not sure. I guess either way, it kind of all roads lead to Rome at that point. But 2-1, 2-1. All right, cool. Hope you enjoyed the games. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 4. All right, everybody, back here for round number 4, Affinity. We're doing okay so far. We lost the mirror round 1 and then 202 our next 2 rounds. So, this hand is a bit suspect. Turn 1 Mem Knight, turn 2 Overseer, turn 3 Plating Equip. Oh, man. This hand is, like, so close. I feel like it's missing something, but at the same time, I could definitely see keeping it. If I was in the draw, I would 100% mulligan. But I am on the play. I think this hand's close enough that I want to try it. I would not fault you for mulliganing this hand, and I think in the long run it probably is a mulligan, but I just kind of want to see how it plays out. I want to see if you can get away with keeping a hand like this, basically. It's humans? Humans? I don't know. Probably not the worst matchup, but they can't really interact with Overseer on turn 2, so there's that. No point in playing the Spire this turn. Imagine I attack and they Violin Asmo. There's no way they have Asmo in their Seachrome Coast deck. But, you know, imagine. For the content. Alright. So let's see what they have. What would be the worst case scenario for me? I don't know. Thalia is kind of whatever. Because I have 3 mana to play plating. Freebooter, they can't cast. Meddling Mage, they'd have to name plating, which they might. If they Meddling Mage plating, that's kind of awkward, but... So the good thing about this is because we have Rebuke in our hand, and we have an Overseer, which if they have Reflector Mage, they're kind of incentivized to play next turn, so we don't get more value out of the Overseer, rather than wait an extra turn to Violin. Because, like, imagine a scenario where they have Reflector in their hand, and they're like, okay, well, I can play it on turn 3, or I can wait a turn to tick up my Vial, to Vial it into play, or I can play it on turn 3 to make sure you don't get value out of your out of your Overseer. They're more likely to just cast it on turn 3, which means there is, I think, some priority I should place on holding up Rebuke next turn, potentially, because that is the one turn where I think I might actually be able to cash it in. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. I will say, Rebuke is going to be the first card that comes out in this matchup. Not the best against Vile Cavern. So this is probably Champion plus 2-drop. Which it is. Which 2-drop? I think they were just tanking on what's a name with Meddling Mage. I mean, plating makes sense, right? I already have an Overseer in play. They could name Ravager if they were more scared about that. But I feel like in general they're more scared about plating than Ravager. Not sure. Maybe it depends on their hand. Okay. Resolves. What shall they name? I would assume this is going to name plating. But we shall see. They named Ravager. That card's not in our deck. See, that's also the nice thing about not playing Ravager. People just don't know that you don't play Ravager. Okay. So we're going back to the thing of, should I hold up Rebuke this turn? How much do I really care if they play a Reflector Mage on Overseer, since I already have the plating and a Thopter? I actually don't really care. So I think I'm just going to shove. And I also think I'm going to offer the trade of Memnite. I think I'm happy to trade Memnite for either of those. I don't even think they're willing... I don't think they're going to take that trade, but we'll see. Oh, they are. Interesting. Alright. Go. I'm going to cycle the Bauble. Maybe I'm not supposed to cycle the Bauble. Well, I guess I still have a two-turn clock, even if I miss on artifacts, because I have 2 Nexis. So I have a 2-turn clock either way. But I wonder if they're in a spot where, if they have Reflector, they also didn't tick up the Vial, worth noting. Definitely worth noting. What was their top card? Lieutenant. Okay. I was trying to think if they're in a spot where maybe they have to bounce the Ornithopter. If they did play Reflector Mage this turn. But we'll see. We shall see. Cranial Plating, still got it. The card that has stood the test of time for, what was it printed? 2004? So 17 years. Still got it. Alright, opponent is deep in the tank. Not sure. I was trying to think, like, maybe, given that they traded off the Meddling Mage so aggressively, maybe they have another one? Alright, that card doesn't matter. And they have Lieutenant, which also kind of doesn't matter. Are they dead? 4, 5, 6. We're showing 7 right now. So I think the most we can deal is 9. Even if we draw 2 artifacts. Alright, take 5. Thought Monitor. I thought that was a good draw. Get it? XD. Alright, so 3 artifacts. So I can go animate, play Monitor. They're not dead at plating, are they? Or Nexus. Tap Nexus, animate Nexus. Tap this, equip Nexus, activate this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it's not quite. So tap the 2 Nexis, animate themselves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 artifacts. Play Saga. 2 mana Thought Monitor, go to 14. And that would be 7 damage. We actually can just attack for 7, and we don't even have to activate the Overseer. Which is good, because I kind of want another blocker back. Yeah, I don't think there's a reason to deal them an extra point. Just 7 them. Yeah, I think the blocker's more important. Alright, 7 them. I guess it does get the Nexus. It does get more counters than the Nexis. But that shouldn't matter, because we're killing them with regular damage this game, not poison. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it matters in the long run. But then if we activate Overseer and they have Reflector Mage on board, that's already 11. And then any other human would only be 13, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So even if they had Reflector plus human, still wouldn't kill us? Okay, maybe not activating Overseer was a spew. Because in order for them to kill us, they would need a lot of stuff. Okay, so they're going to copy Thought Monitor, I assume? Unless they have us rolled up. But we're definitely not dead to copy Lieutenant plus Reflector Mage. And even if they had Reflector plus Reflector and bounced these two, it's still only 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We got a 1. So that's not even good enough. I guess. No, if they copy Monitor, they're still dead, right? Because we can just activate the Overseer. Attack with both, activate Overseer. They block Thought Bear, take 3. Excuse me. They are deep in the tank. Chilling. I ain't got nowhere to be. Alright, so they did choose to copy the Monitor. They are still dead on board. So they have Reflector Mage. That is a card they could have. I don't know that I can beat a Reflector Mage now. Because they just Violet in. Are they only attacking with Champion? I think I'm just going to take this. And just hope that I can, like, if I somehow don't kill them in combat, then I can just make some blocks next turn. But I think they might have Reflector Mage. Nope, I guess not. Or they're doing it now? Oh, okay, I see. That makes more sense. Sure. I get it. So I'm at 5. Can I equip a Nexus and make it lethal? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I can. Because both the Monitor and the Thopter are lethal by itself. So if we go play Pest, animate Nexus, so tap this, animate Nexus, equip, activate a second Nexus. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 artifacts, 9, 10 from the Overseer. Okay, so that should just be lethal, I believe. 8, 9, 10. So lethal, lethal, lethal. They only have 2 flying blockers. Alright, we figured it out. We found the line. Close game. Actually, a very close game. I thought that we were, like, insanely favored. But that was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Okay, game number 2. So, dispatch for sure. Rebuke, please leave. Kindly leave. I think Etch Champion is also kind of good. Cut the Froggies, because they're kind of low impact. And they have a lot of creatures that Brick Frog. Yeah, they Brick Frog. Welding Jar is also a little sus, because they don't really play removal spells. I think that's all I want to do. Yeah, this looks good. Sometimes they have, what's the Collector Oof? Sometimes they have Collector Oof in the sideboard, but I only have access to 3 dispatches for it. So those are the maximum number of answers I have to Oof. Maybe this deck wants a 4th dispatch, but man, I've been really impressed with this deck so far. Thought Monitor is a hell of a card. Like I said, every time, if that card always costs 1 mana, as I said before, it's really, really good. Been a big fan of that card. What do they have? Again, usually, like, cards that I would expect them to bring in, Collector Oof, Plague Engineer, sometimes they have that. Deputy of Detention, maybe. That's all I can really think of. This hand's kind of meh. And by kind of meh, I mean it doesn't really do anything. It has Dispatch, but I think this hand's just too bad. No payoff. So this is all payoffs, no mana. Well, 3 payoffs, 3 lands, no fast mana, no zeros. They kept 6. I don't really want to go to 5. I think I'm going to keep this and ship the second plating. I think I have to keep all 3 lands in case I don't draw a land for turn 3 champion. Because I do have plating, or mantle into plating in the champion. So, I don't know if this hand's a keep, but I don't really want to go to 5. To be fair, this hand doesn't have a ton of good redraws, you know? Well, that's... A 0 is actually really good, because I can just do this, and then I can turn 2 champion. So 0 is actually probably best possible, because that allows me to turn 2 champion. I will qualify that as a good redraw. Set the Athalia, I don't really care. I could mentally mage plating, which would suck, but we have champion, so like plating's not our play next turn anyways. Seems like they're tanking on what's a meddling mage. Let's see if they're not. I don't think they're gonna name Ravager again. They learn the error of their ways. I think they should just always name plating anyways. Even if you knew Ravager was in my deck, I think plating is still just a better card. I guess they could name a removal spell here, but they don't know if I have Dispatch or Galvanic Blast. So that's kind of a tough sell. I would assume plating. That would be my guess. I'm definitely tanking about it, though. May have to edit some of this out. Do. The name plating makes sense. I will take 2. Guest. Moonlight. It's champion. Your move. Alright, I would like to draw a Dispatch. Dispatch is my best draw. Saga's good. Master's good. More champions are good. That's about it. Right? Yeah, that's about it. Oops. Mantis Rider. Okay. Take 3. Good card, please. It's not the worst. It's going to be a tad slow. Definitely not attacking. Definitely not racing 2 against 5 when I'm already down 3 life. I'm also not going to chump block with Nexus this turn. Kind of need to find a Dispatch, though. I think if I find a Dispatch, I'm in really good shape. Tenants. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So I take 4. If they attack with the champion and the mage, I'm going to double block the mage and chump block the champion. So I assume just 4. And I think they will come to that same conclusion. They did. Dispatch. Nope. They're at 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'm just passing. Feels kind of bad, but I don't really think I can attack here. I still think I might be okay if I draw a Dispatch. Probably only have 1 more draw step for it, though. I don't know. It depends on what their follow-up is. Maybe 2. Assuming they make this the same attack, I'm not going to chump block again this turn. I'm just going to take another 4. There is some consideration to, like, block with Nexus, put a counter on and make this a 2-2, but... Okie dokie. They have another lieutenant. Very deliberate with their plays. I feel like I'm playing against Nassif. Alright, they have another mage. They just name plating again? It is the scariest card. Yeah, makes sense. Probably not in a good spot now, because even if I draw Dispatch, it's not good enough. Yeah, they just send both champions. So I block here, take 9. I don't even know what my out is. Alright, I'm going to save some time for the camera, because they're playing a little slow. Let's go to game 3. I don't think I have any outs at that point anyways. Alright, run it back. None of these cards are good. do get to be in the play for game 3, which is good. Hopefully we can have a bit more of an aggressive start. Our hand with that game was just a little too slow. Maybe I was supposed to play plating on turn... No, I couldn't have, right? Because they were on the play. They went land go, I went land, Memnite, mantle, equip, then they went land mage plating, so I couldn't play plating that turn. If I was in the play, given knowing how like aggressive they are in maging plating, I'm just gonna play plating before anything, I think. So this hand has no fast mana. We also only have 2 artifacts and 2 monitors, which kind of tough. I think this hand's bad. I think this hand's also bad, but we have turn 2 plating. We get to play before they Meddling Mage, and that's just the best card in the matchup. So I think I'm actually going to keep this. Put back the second Nexus. Knowing like how aggressive they're naming plating with Mage, just getting to play turn 2 plating before they Mage is really good, I think. And I'm just going to play Citadel first, so I can go Citadel into Inkmoth. Basically, I want to play more artifact lands early, because if I draw a second Citadel, then I want to go Citadel, Citadel, Spire. Cavern on human. Okie dokie. Have a vial. I was supposed to play Nexus that turn. I don't think it matters too much, but... Go. What you got? Do they have Meddling Mage? They're gonna... Here comes the 5-minute tank on Meddling Mage again. You know, it is what it is, but it's just a little annoying sometimes. White. Champion of the Parish. Okay. So they have another 1-drop, because if that's the only one they had, they would have clearly just waited to vial it in. Citadel was an excellent draw. So now I can go Thought Monitor plus plating. Actually, no, I can't do that. Yeah, I was thinking I could go Mantle this, but I'm just going to equip this and send him to the Shadow Realm. 6, yeah. Now we even have Dispatch next turn. Yeah, this is quite the draw. That said, that second Citadel was so huge. So I guess it was actually a lot better that I played Spire on 2, because if I had played Nexus on 2, I wouldn't have been able to go Citadel into Monitor into Equip. So it was actually a lot better that I played Spire on turn 2, so maybe that was the correct play. Because I'm just so unlikely to Nexus the turn after anyways. Because my turn is like, even if I brick on a land or a spell, I'm just going to play Monitor. Like, I'm never activating Nexus that turn. I'm just playing Monitor. So... yeah, I think it was actually correct to play this on turn 2, the more I think about it. But now they're just kind of boned. Right, like, even if they have Collector Oof, doesn't really matter because I already have the Thopter in play. And I have the Dispatch anyways. I'll see what they got, though. Deputy? Good thing we got that covered. Good thing we got that covered. I'll take 3 damages. Mishra's Bauble. Dispatch. The question is, do we play Saga or do we play Nexus? Not sure. This is 9, 10 damage if I play Nexus. I don't think the 1 damage matters all that much. Because 9 still makes Thought Monitor a 2-turn clock, and I'd rather just start the Saga going. I should equip the mantle, it's kind of free. No reason not to. So they go to 4. I guess I'll equip this. Pass. I'm at 15. Is there any way I can die? If they have like double Lieutenant? I don't think so. They have 2 cards. Let's see what they're drawing. Opponent? Question mark? They are drawing, drumroll please, Shardless Agent. Okay. Yeah, I've seen a lot of these humans lists with Shardless Agent, and I'm really not a fan of that card. Mostly because, and I tried it out, and I cascaded into Aether Vial twice, and it's just so unbelievably bad when you do that. Just not really a fan of the card. Cascade into... Yeah, see? Exactly why I hate it. 3 mana for a 2/2 Aether Vial on turn 4. Not the best card in the world. So the only way they survive is if they have Reflector Mage. Okay, well they're off it. Alright, 3 and 1. Yeah, Affinity generally should be a pretty good matchup for the... Or, not Affinity. Human should generally be a pretty good matchup for this deck, I think. Especially if you're on the play. We had some pretty good draws, but once you get plating into play, they have very few answers to a plating that's in play. So, yeah, 3 and 1. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 5, see if we can go ahead and get that 4-1. Alright, everybody, it's time for the 5th and final round with Affinity. What do we have? We have a hand with no fast mana, but we have 2 zeros, an Overseer, and a plating on the play. Oh, we also have a turn 1 Frogma. Yeah, this hand's good. This hand is basically turn 1 3 power with 2 payoffs. Doesn't get a ton better than this. I'm going to lead on Overseer. It's higher upside. Tron. Well... I guess the good thing about this... Actually, is it better for us to play plating first? Let's do some quick math here. Alright, so 17. If I play Overseer, next turn it's 6. They go to 11. Then I play plating. Then the turn after I equip and it's lethal. If I play plating... Then Overseer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, excuse me. No, I think it's still better to play Overseer first. The good thing about this matchup is their sweeper on turn 3 is All Is Dust, which does nothing. So if they have even if they have turn 3 All Is Dust, it doesn't really do anything, right? They also could be playing E-Tron and not regular Tron. Alright, activate. Attack. Play plating post-combat. I think I like this line. This line also beats Worm Coil, right? I think. Do we have enough damage with the Thopter? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8. It's only 8. So if they have Worm Coil, we don't have lethal. And they could have a follow-up O-Stone. Alright, maybe we're actually kind of... Well... Yeah, maybe we're actually in bad shape here. If they have Worm Coil. I guess they have to have Worm Coil into O-Stone. Because Ugin also doesn't do anything. We'll see. We shall see what they have. Again, hopefully they're Eldrazi Tron. So I think we're good against Eldrazi Tron. I guess they could have played Karn. If they played Karn, it would have been 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We put them to 3. We can also kill Karn, though. Okay, so we don't know if they're regular Tron or Eldrazi Tron. So, in any case, the cards that we would consider, I think, are pretty similar. These 9. Some number of Disenchants, Needles, and Dispatches, potentially. Rebuke is very good against both versions. Frogmite is generally pretty low impact. Welding Jar, I think, is pretty bad. Because, like, Welding Jar saving one thing from a sweeper, like a Oblivion Stone, is probably not worth it. So I think I'm going to cut the Jars and the Frogmites. I'm going to keep the Rebukes. Maybe just 1 Needle to get with Saga, and then 3 Disenchants? Is Disenchant better than Dispatch? Disenchant is better against E-Tron. Dispatch is probably better against Greentron because of Wormcoil. But even Disenchant against Wormcoil, if your board is wide enough, you can just attack with everything and disenchant the Wormcoil after they block. So it's still not, like, that bad. So I think I'm just going to do 3 Disenchants and a Needle to Saga 4. And just call it like that. Sand is so close. Sand is a Springleaf Drum away. Do we want to keep the sand and hope we peel a Springleaf? God, if we draw a Springleaf Drum, this hand is insane. If we draw a Springleaf Drum, we get to go turn 1, Saga, Drum, Memnite, Thopter, Bauble, Bauble. We can't quite play the Monitor on 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then we could go turn 2. Oh, man. But, like, almost anything other than Drum, this hand is pretty bad, right? Yeah, I'm going to mulligan. Too risky. Okay. This hand is reasonable. Put back... I'm going to keep this. I think I'm keeping all the spells. I'm putting back a land. I guess I can put back Glimmervoid because I have Drum. It's probably fine. And I want to keep the 2 utility lands. Putting back Glimmervoid is a lot worse if they have Chalice on 0, if they're playing E-Tron. Alright, they have Map. Oh no, they have Chalice. It's so bad. Oh, it's so bad for me. Well, this hand was good. And now it's a lot worse. Alright, your move. So we have to draw colored mana to blow up the Chalice. Well, we know they're playing E-Tron now, because regular Tron would not play Chalice. Every time E-Tron has turn 3 Tron, it just kind of feels insulting. So my options include Disenchant into Memnite, or Saga into Plating. Huh. If I Saga into Plating, I have 2 artifacts in play. I guess the theory behind Disenchant into Memnite is it leaves me with 2 payoffs. Well, actually 3 payoffs, right? So if they have exactly Thought-Knots here, it's kind of whatever. They take Plating, but then my hand is still not bad. So I think it's better to Disenchant into Memnite. I think. This is better against Thought-Knots here. Worse against most other cards. Like, it's definitely worse against Karn, but... Okay, that's fine, because we have 2 good cards in our hand. I mean, I guess you could say the same argument about Saga Plating, and then we just have Monitor plus Disenchant. And they take Monitor, probably. Leave us with Disenchant. Then next turn we just go Disenchant Memnite. Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely arguments for both lines. We drew a disenchant, which is not very good. Play Saga. So I only have 2 artifacts in play. 2 artifacts, 4 mana. Alright, this thing costs 5. 1 short. So, I think we're going to pass. Yeah, pass. I guess the attack with Nexus was free, right? Because then I still have Disenchant up. Yeah, so I missed the point of poison there. Should have attacked with Nexus. It's a Smasher. Ugin the Ineffable. Okay. That is whatever. Yeah. Okay. Do I want to kill the Maze Mind Tome? I guess if I don't, it's going to draw them a lot of cards, so I probably should kill it. I don't really think I care about the Chalice that much at this point. Why are they scrying? They have no cards in their hand. I don't get it. Why is scrying better than drawing a card? I'm trying to think of what possible reason they would do that. Maybe this is like a Warping Whale, and they wanted to like leave the option of if this dies, hold up Warping Whale. That seems so much worse, though. Yeah, there's no way that's right. So this costs 4. And I can make it cost 3. So I activate Saga, make a 4th artifact. And I still can't play Monitor. Not really sure what my out is at this point. I think my out is definitely making 2 constructs, though, for sure. So... animate Nexus. I can animate Nexus and make a construct. The issue with that line is the construct is only a 4/4 on my turn, and I kind of want it to be a 5/5 so I can brick their Thought-Knots here. So I think I'm actually just going to pass here. Maybe it's kind of a spew to miss another point of damage there, but it's not free to attack, because then it forces a trade on the Thought-Knots here. Although they probably still don't attack into the 4/4, right? I stand corrected. Okay. I will animate. They drew Dismember. They didn't draw Dismember. I'll block. Animate. Pass. No, I just bend their Thought-Knots here. Alright, alright. Outs maybe? Outs maybe? Okay. So now we can go make another thing. Get another artifact. Which is probably going to be... hey, we need a Ugin. That works. Ugin the Ineffable. Right. And then we go blue. I don't want to play Drum first because then I have to tap one of these 2 to play the Monitor, and I want to leave both of those back. Because I can't play the Ornithopter because of the Chalice, remember. Okay. Drum. Now the question is, do we start attacking with constructs? It does allow them to chump block with their tokens, which could be bad for us. It's tough. Because, like, at this point, I'm really just in the waiting room for a plating. It's, like, the only card that's going to get me out of it. think I should probably attack. It's close. It's very close. There's also a chance that that spirit, the card under the spirit, is not very good, right? So it's kind of a coin flip there. Okay, power plant. Attacking with Reshaper. 2, 4, 6, 79, 10. So I would die to Ballista. To be fair, I'm not really beating Ballista anyways. I'm just gonna assume that I'm dead to Ballista no matter what I do. Like, Ballista wouldn't kill me this turn. Like, it would be a 5/5 and I'm at 7, but... Ooh, that was a good draw, potentially. Because now he might have Ballista covered. I don't think I'm killing him with poison. I think I'm just going to attack with the 2 constructs in the monitor. And leave back 2 blockers for the Reshaper. I guess we're dead to... Smasher? Is there any way I can beat a Smasher? I'd have to leave back a Construct, which is bad because then if I attack with Construct Monitor, they chump block. That just gives them more draw steps though, right? Yeah, I think that just gives them more draw steps. I think this is better. Now they chump block the Construct. We do this. So we get in for 11, they go to 9. Alright, pass. Let's see what this face down card is. Karn, I think, is beatable because they Karn minus and we can hopefully rebuke whatever they Karn for. Oh, that was actually a Smasher. Damn it. Alright, so if I left back a Construct, what would we have drawn? Would have taken a couple extra draw steps. It's tough. It depends on what their last card was. Alright, now we know that they're E-Tron. I don't think I want more needles, but I definitely want Dispatch. I think Dispatch is potentially better than Signal Pest. Maybe leave 1 Pest in to be able to get with Saga. Got like the second mantle. Maybe this is too many colored spells. Maybe just 2 dispatches. Especially on the play. Maybe the second pest. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Alright, game 3 on the play. Yeah, this is why I didn't like all these colored spells. This hand is really sketch. I'm going to ship it. 3 colored spells, no colored mana. Okay, this is significantly better. It's only a 1-lander, but we have a bauble to redraw. I think I'm putting back Disenchant with this hand. Just going to dump my zeros. Just hope that, yeah, putting back Disenchant. They finally mulliganed. They kept 7 with turn 3 Tron both games 1 and 2. What you got? Chalice of the Void on top. That's why I played all my zeros. Because now Chalice on 0 is kind of whatever. They're still going to play it. I hope they're playing map. Because they're deciding whether they want to play the Chalice. They definitely know I don't have zeros in my hand. So they're going to choose to hold it on 1. That's very unfortunate. Yep, well, probably dead now. Because they almost certainly have turn 3 Tron again. Man. There's something about losing to Eldrazi Tron that just does not sit right with me. I don't know what it is. If you have the same experience, let me know in the comments below. I don't know. I just feel like Eldrazi Tron wins games that it has no business winning, basically. And also, like, you know, it feels really bad when they have turn 3 Tron, because their deck has so many less avenues to turn 3 Tron than normal Tron. Like, when I play against Green Tron, you know, they have Sylvan Scrying, they have Ancient Stirrings, they have a bunch of redraws, but E-Tron is literally just map and pray, you know, and it feels like the games they don't have Tron, are just so much easier to win than the games they do have Tron. Okay, well, I've had enough here. A bit of a bitter ending to the league. Yeah, pretty unfortunate. Especially losing to the deck that I hate losing to the most in Modern. But as is, we had a lot of fun. Affinity's pretty cool. For future versions, I would consider trying Nettle Cyst. For those of you who don't know, I will bring up Nettle Cyst real quick. Just as additional payoffs, maybe better than Master of Ethereum. Just like a 3-mana thing, and then if your thing dies, you can move it around to get more bonuses. So it's like kind of a 2. It's almost like a 2. Always gonna be a 2-for-1. It just seems like a really good card. Not sure what I would cut for it. Maybe the Master, maybe some of the Rebukes, maybe the Frogmites. But yeah, overall, a lot of fun. Haven't played Affinity, and I can't remember the last time I cast some cranial plating. So that was a good trip down memory lane. I hope you enjoyed the content. As always, be sure to like and subscribe if you made it all the way to the end of the video, and I will see you in the next one.